The Lui Diaz Podcast.
Matt O'Neill, that's you.
You spelt my name correctly and everything, man.
Episode 70.
Oh, wow. The big 7-0.
70.
Yeah.
It's a milestone
There is a milestone. That's pretty cool. The 70th episode.
of the Lui Diaz Podcast.
Lui Diaz.
You know what I really have been forgetting to do is just talking to the camera and saying thank you to everyone that's been following, that's been subscribing lately, that's, on this journey with me.
That's very cool. Can I put my sunnies on?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just because I think people are watching us and I want them to think maybe like
We're
I'm
both
like a real fat, washed-up rock star.
Yeah, I want them to think that too. Oh, fuck yeah. That's a look.
I was in America once and ended up in hospital in LA, and because we didn't know any better, we ended up going to the what's the Sinai Caesar Sinai. It's in Beverly Hills, so it's the most expensive hospital you can go to.
Yeah.
And it was with kidney stones, and I was in hospital. I had sunglasses on the whole time, and everyone that I went was like looking to see because they thought it was a celebrity because it's where all the celebrities go.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was just a fat loser.
Did you hand out some flyers?
Oh no, man! I was in the. I ended up getting charged $25,000 US.
You're kidding.
No,
Yeah, I was going to ask because I know hospital fees are really expensive there.
really expensive.
So how did
I was
you
there
manage
for 4
that?
hours, 25,000. So what happened was we had travel insurance, but travel insurance wouldn't cover it. But that happened by the time we got back to Melbourne. I've just never paid it.
Right.
I hope you're watching. Now the Americans they've passed the debt on to a place in Switzerland.
Yeah.
And now Switzerland were chasing me down during lockdown for it, and I just haven't heard from them for since 2020.
They just wrote it off.
I think they just because they reduced it down to 5,000
Yeah.
US.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's just reduce it down. Do you know if you reduced it down to $500, I'd probably fucking pay it.
Yeah.
We could be done.
Let's put it on a payment plan.
But I just let them send letters and email me and letters and email me, and then I've just never heard from them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
25,000 US
I
though.
was wondering about that. Why did you choose the most expensive hospital?
We'd
Was it-
never been to LA.
Yeah.
And I was just struck down with the kidney stones. I don't know if you've ever had it or know people who have had it. It's very painful. And the place we were staying at, that's the hospital it had in its little, book of information. And we could have just gone to a hospital around the corner and probably just been $1,000 or something. I don't know. But we went. I mean, the family got to walk around Beverly Hills while I was in hospital. And then the worst part was at the end of it, they just put you out on the street. I'm like, I don't know where I am. I don't know where I'm going. And they're like, good luck. Taxis. Is there taxis rank it? No, you're about 2 blocks that way. So I'm stumbling, high in morphine, stumbling through Beverly Hills. Found a taxi, and the taxi took forever to get back to it. Like, it cost a shit ton just taxi fares.
So you got the taxi driver chasing you up for fucking unpaid taxi debts too?
He was a Russian guy, and because I was supposed to be doing comedy that night in LA.
No way.
But I had to give it a miss, and he was telling me he'd had Bob Saget in his cab.
No way.
That was his famous person he did a brush with. And of course, Bob Saget, R.I.P. He's gone now. The guy from Full House, the dad.
Yeah. Oh, is he gone?
He's gone. Yeah.
Oh, Bob, he was very.
I hope you haven't booked him.
I haven't.
Yeah, it's all right. He's not going to turn up.
Oh, that's so good, man. Yeah, Bob Saget was he was in a couple of episodes of Entourage. Do you remember that show?
That's right. Yeah, he was.
But he wasn't like this family dude. You know what I mean? Like in that show, Full House, he was like this fun kind of jovial dad,
goofy.
goofy dad.
Yeah.
But in Entourage, he was like this real fucking badass.
Well, his comedy was very dark.
Really?
Yeah, really dark.
Oh, damn.
But that seems to be a common theme because we have a guy back in the UK called Jim Davidson, who he used to do lots of. I mean, he's kind of been cancelled now. But back in like the late 80s, early 90s, on TV, he was like on all these family time TV shows, game shows, things like that. And then when he'd come to town, we'd be like, Mom, Dad, can we go and see Jim Davidson? He's doing his stand-up. It was an 18-plus show. Like, he was filthy. He was a real dark, filthy comedian.
Have you seen him live?
No, I was too young. Then by the time I'm old enough to see him, he's been cancelled since then, so I don't really do it as much.
Why do you think, do you know why he's been cancelled? Did you ever look into that?
No, I've got a feeling it's probably. I think he was tied up mistakenly tied up in the U-Tree stuff. U-Tree was the Jimmy Savile, Rolf Harris, all the child sex stuff
molestation
from through the BBC. And I think he
Oh.
was wrongfully tied up in that, but also his comedy is just very, what would you say? Is it like
It's controversial.
Yeah, just like a little bit probably too racist these
right,
days,
okay.
maybe. Or
These
just,
days?
Well, even them, like just like
Yeah.
the stuff he's saying won't fly anymore. You know, yeah.
Yeah, it's always a really interesting kind of. The line is very blurry for me. You know, maybe it's because I'm a bit naive, but you do see some comedians that are just killing it, and you know, like, I don't know, that can just push through the cancellation barrier. You know, there's like this unseen kind of line that some are able to cross and just go there, and some that can't. I don't know what the difference is.
Neither do I. I think that's what we're all trying to find, maybe.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think, and when you see someone get through that line, you're like, oh, it's possible.
Yeah.
But then you see someone else get cancelled, and you're like, oh, wait, it's not really that possible.
Yeah. I think. Look, we live in a city that makes it even more difficult for
Melbourne.
that kind of comedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, for sure, bro. For sure. I've seen some comedians on stage here in Melbourne tempt the gods.
Yeah.
They have tempted the gods.
Yeah.
There was one guy at your show the other night, that the dark comedy show. You're doing a show in South Melbourne, right?
Yeah.
What's that one called again?
It's a dark comedy show. Do you mean the one at Roxy's or? I've been doing
in the little laneway there. Where
Yeah, that's
Roxy.
Roxy's. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, that's Adita and Shatan run a dark comedy show, which seems to do really well at the fest every year. Like they seem to pack them in.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool because you know they'll get 100 people in there some nights, and it's just people who just want to just hear things being the line being pushed a little bit. You know what I mean? Like because it's jokes. You know what I mean? It is jokes.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't think you rarely get someone who takes it too far. You know?
Yeah.
But
I think I saw some guy doing someone was doing like some pro-Trump or something, or some very right wing stuff, and there was a guy in the front row just shaking his head.
Oh, really?
And he was like, "Where are you from, bro?" And he's like, "I'm from DC." And I'm like, yeah. He's from the swamp, so of course they're going to be anti. You know, it's like you come to a comedy show, just fucking shut your mouth and stop shaking your head. That's what you're here for.
Man, I had someone walk out last night in a gig I was doing, and it wasn't even. It's like it wasn't even that. It wasn't anything too controversial. It's just he couldn't take a joke, and he got up and walked out and waited for me at the front.
Bullshit.
No,
You're kidding.
No,
Last night
at the Elephant Wheelbarrow. Yeah.
So what did he want? What was the purpose of waiting out the front for you?
So, this is it, and this is what I think everyone was in shock. Basically, I'd done a joke, and I'm not going to do the joke for this, but it was basically it's just like you leave a word hanging, and everyone else fills in the blanks. So I did that. Everyone fills in the blanks. They're all laughing, and then as the laughter died down, he shouted out what the joke meant.
Right.
So he explained it. He's like, oh, because blah, 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 blah. And everyone like turned around and looked at him. And I went, yeah, man, that's why we're all laughing. But thanks for coming along. Thanks for taking part.
Yeah.
And
You said the quiet bit out loud.
yeah, exactly. You've explained it. Like you Spot the Dog booked it. You know what I mean? And he was just, and everyone kind of started laughing at that, and he just stood up and went, well, fuck yeah, and stormed out.
That's awesome.
And as I was leaving, all because thanks to that, it actually made the gig more interesting, and it blew up even more. All the lads that were at that gig were coming up to me going, he's waiting outside for you, but if he comes near, we're all going to fucking jump him. And I couldn't give a shit, man. But the guys who was doing the gig for, we had another gig, same gig but different, in Lonsdale Street, so Elephant Wheelbarrow to Lonsdale Street.
Yeah, right.
He's like, let's go out the side. And I'm like, man, I don't give a shit. He's like, no, but I do, because if he starts something with you, I need you to come and do this fucking gig, not get in the fight. So I was like, all right, well, okay, fine. But yeah, he was fuming.
Really?
Over nothing.
That's
so
that's so interesting, man.
Yeah.
I find I'm learning more and more about the dynamic of comedy in this city, and it's a tough crowd.
Comedy is tough, man. It's really hard. You're putting yourself on the line.
Yeah.
Like I did one of the dark comedy shows last night. I think because I was a bit shook up by what had just happened.
Yeah, okay.
I went to one of the dark comedy shows we talked about, except it was in a different place. It was at the Multicultural Hub of all places. Yeah, near
You're just
Victoria.
asking for it there, bro.
The Victoria Mark. Yeah, well, but the air conditioning didn't work, and the room was fucking boiling hot, and I had a jacket on, and man, I ended up taking my clothes off. I've never done this, but my wife's the only person who's ever seen me with. I didn't take everything off. Just I went down to my jocks, but I was just so like flipped out. Like I was kind of like, I don't know, like wasn't able to regulate my emotions. It was really hot. I took my jacket off. I was like, fuck. The audience were giving dark comedy nothing. Like everyone who'd got up, like Shane Hunter. I don't know if you've seen him.
Shane's coming on the podcast.
He's fucking great. He was MCing. He did his stuff up top. They were giving him nothing. I was like, fuck this crowd. Like, fuck you. But it was very warm in there. Warm rooms don't help comedy. I ended up taking my fucking clothes off, man. I've never done that before.
That's fucking rockstar. That is rockstar.
It was quite large man rockstar. it was white, berry white rockstar. And look, I guess if anything, it was memorable.
Yeah.
And probably nightmare-inducing as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Where are you from anyway, bro?
Originally the UK.
Yeah.
But I've lived here since 93, man. I've been here for a long
You got the
time.
thickest accent.
Do you think?
Yeah. I know people say
Yeah.
this when they go home. Their British friends say that they sound like Australians.
Yeah.
But no, they're tripping, bro.
Okay.
Like you still got a thick accent. So
Okay.
I thought you might be like the last 10 years or something.
No, 93, man, when I was like 14.
You're an
So-
OG. You're an Aussie.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got Australian wife, 2 Australian kids.
Yeah.
So they don't sound anything like me.
Yeah.
Obviously, the wife wouldn't. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
But yeah. But the kids, yeah, they're completely Aussie, and which is fine, I
You're a
guess. I've
fool,
come
aren't
to
you?
live with it. Yeah.
Did you do comedy back in the UK?
No, I was only I only started when I was 37, so that's coming
are
up
you now?
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, man, it suits you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I didn't want to do
good
it.
on stage, man.
Thank you.
You have a good presence.
I think maybe cuddly. I can get away with a bit more.
Maybe.
I don't know.
All right.
Maybe the accent helps.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do. I didn't want to. I was incredibly shy, like crippled by shyness.
Really?
But I wanted to write. I wanted to write comedy, but I was told you won't be able to write for anyone unless you actually do it.
Right.
So I just started doing it. But I have found benefits of just like public speaking, like being able to speak to people like we are now.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It's helped that, because speaking to one person is a lot easier than speaking to 500 people, let's say, at the lounge or something like that.
Yep.
So it's yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
this is a lot more relaxed.
I enjoy this kind of thing a lot more. You know, people have said to me, "Oh, Louis, you know, you're interviewing all these comedians. Have you ever thought of doing stand-up?" I'm like, no, you know, I can be funny, but I don't know if I'm stand-up funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look, it's
Shy.
It's something you learn as you go along and do it. But I guess that, like, you know, it's all a magic trick anyway. Like, we were all, and this is the thing I get sick of. Here we are, the second last week of the festival,
Yeah.
and I'm sick of fucking getting up now and saying the same
Really?
thing. Like, I enjoy the dark shows a bit more because they're a bit more loose.
Yeah.
But the other shows, man, where you're getting paid decent money, and you have to do your best 10, your best 15, wherever it is, and I get really bored of saying the same.
Really?
Some people love it.
Yeah.
You know, and that makes sense. People love acting. They love getting up in theatre and performing the same script every night, Shakespeare or wherever it is. And I don't think I could do that. Just fucking, yeah, it breaks me. I think that's why I took my clothes off last night. Like, I'm just like, fuck this whole thing, man.
But also, you look. It feels as though you've got a few other strings to your bow. Like I was sort of flicking through your Insta before, and I could see these kind of. And you've named yourself Matt O'Neill Thunder Bastard.
Yeah, that's my Instagram handle. Yeah,
handle. So check out Matt O'Neill Thunder Bastard, Matt O'Neill
please.
on Instagram. But I was like, oh, okay, yeah, because this does feel very Thunderbirdy. You're doing these kind of animations or something?
Oh yeah, no, they came way after that. They're actually a year old.
Yeah.
Like as of the last couple of weeks, it's a year old. That whole thing.
I could see that, and I'm like, okay, so you're not just doing stand-up. You've got this multi-talented. You've got a background in something. Creative.
Graphic design is what I do.
Right.
I
was hoping you'd say something a little more fucking rockstar.
Well, I was in the.
I'm joking.
Well, I was in a band in 2004, and we were on Triple J and shit like that. Yeah.
What was the band?
They were called Brilliant Fanzine.
Right. Cool.
We did all right for a year and a bit. We had a song.
The indie rock like revival here in Australia, or globally probably.
Yeah, that's right.
The Strokes were big in there out in New York. Then we had Jet in around that time.
Yeah.
And then some of our local bands like Dallas Crane and I remember this band. Who are they called? Forgot the name of them.
There was a lot of them.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Our guitar, one of our guitar players was he was in a band called Temper, and I think the story was he decided like it was either going to be Temper or Brilliant Fanzine. He thought, fuck it, I'll go Brilliant Fanzine because they seem to be on the up, and we did fucking nothing after one song, and Temper turned into Temper Trap and became the superstars that they were. I don't know what they're doing now, but they were pretty fucking good.
They played at the. I think they're on the other side of the hill now.
Yeah.
They were playing at the Melbourne Cup one of the days there.
Right.
And I was like, Temper Trap. They're still making money off playing gigs, but they're not what they were.
No. They didn't quite go on to be there.
They were huge though.
Yeah. A lot bigger than we were.
Well, that reminds me of that story about the Beatles drummer. Was it the Beatles drummer?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete Best. I read that story, and I read that he has the wild thing about that story is that he has absolute zero regrets.
Wow.
Yeah. And when asked about it, apparently he just says, "I've got a wife and beautiful kids. Like, why would I regret? What is there to regret?"
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry, you could have been a Beatle, bro.
They did all right. Yeah. Temper Trap wasn't quite the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he
loose correlation.
Yeah, he's like a successful lawyer, and he's fine.
Yeah, right.
But it was just look, we had some fun times. It was kind of just what, as with anything, it's the chase that's the fun. Like the most fun part of this will be doing the first few episodes. You know what I mean? And it's the same with music. The most exciting part was recording the stuff, putting it out. And then people latching onto it, and then after that, it's not as exciting anymore. You know what I mean? So it's same with comedy, I guess, to an extent. Like it's those early days are always most fun.
Yeah,
where you're shitting yourself over doing a 5-minute spot at an open mic.
Yeah,
it just consumes your thoughts for the whole day or the whole week leading up to it, and then a few years in, you're doing much bigger things than that, and but they're not as exciting as those early days. So.
That's a shame to hear.
Yeah, that's just me.
Yeah,
like I said, people find joy in saying the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll find joy in maybe more than just the start. I think that's just my nature. Sadly, to my detriment, I think, because then you maybe it's the Britishness coming out. You never fully enjoy anything.
Maybe it is the
just
Britishness.
Miserable, just a sad sack all the time, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I can relate to that thrill of the chase vibe though. When something's new, it's different, and you get butterflies, and you fuck something up, and you forget to press record, and you're just like, there's something,
Yeah.
I can't describe it. Maybe I don't have the vocabulary to describe it, but I understand that feeling. And then it becomes a job, and that's why. Yeah, I reckon it must be hard for some comedians to break through into that professional kind of level as a full-time comedian, because like when you got your day job, at least you got the contrast of like your boring thing here during the day, and then you get the lulls at night that really vibe you up, but then you get to go back to a different headspace where you got to be responsible and do your thing and serve your customers and clients or whatever.
Yeah.
So that contrast probably really is helpful in a way, but once you go full time,
it's a bit of
it's like a business.
The shine's taken off of it a bit. you know.
I'm releasing an episode on Monday with Jared Goundry,
Yeah.
and he's got such an interesting story, man.
Oh yeah, he was. I reckon he's not telling us the full story.
He tells us a lot in this episode.
Yeah, I reckon he's like a MacGyver. You know what I mean? Like you tell, like, I reckon he's been undercover somewhere and done some real dark shit.
Well,
That's what I reckon.
he was an infantryman. He was
I reckon
he was a
that's
grunt.
lie. Yeah, I reckon
you
that's a
reckon?
lie. Yeah, and the chef as well.
Do you
Bullshit. Who is he? Steven Seagal? Fuck off.
Yeah.
Mate. I hope he watches this. We're coming for you, Gandry. We're on to you, man.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal. That's what he is, man.
Starts knife fighting with people.
Yeah,
and-
exactly. What is that? I watched them. I rewatched Under Siege 1 and Under Siege 2 recently.
Yeah.
A knife fight at the end of each film.
Yeah.
But like little,
It's very technical.
yeah, very.
It's like,
Like, come on,
hey,
man.
yeah,
Just stab the guy,
exactly.
you know. Can we say that? Sorry, man. Whoops. There were some kids there just before.
Yeah, no. Well, I haven't been cancelled yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're good. We can just say whatever we want until we get cancelled, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe. But
Oh.
yeah, sorry, Gandry. What?
No, I was just saying that he's been able to push through into full time.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, he's
and
worked very hard at it, man.
for him, it's a full business, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and you can see he's a very busy man,
Yeah.
and he's a good guy.
Yeah. I love these moments too, where people come back or by with their.
He's setting up his podcast. I think everyone's walking past, looking at us, and they're looking at me, thinking, "Fuck, that homeless guy's got his own podcast." That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I had a street guy come through before during my recording with Tom that I just did. And he's got a bike, but he's wearing chains. You can tell this
Right.
guy's definitely from the streets.
Yeah.
You know, he's blinged up a bit. And he was like, "When am I going to be on?" He just stops right there and goes, "When
Yeah.
am I going to be on?" I was like, "When you want to be on, bro?" He
Man,
goes,
he'd have a story.
"I like Wednesdays." He goes, "Wednesday?" I go, "Wednesday? I could make that work." I go, "Just get my number." He starts typing in my number and he goes, "I've got some stories for you, bro.
Yeah, I bet he fucking does.
I've got some real stories."
Yeah.
And you just, by the look of this guy, I'm like, I want to hear those motherfucking stories.
And
I
also,
want them.
you're in my bedroom. So if you can fuck off, that would be great, mate.
I was
I'm a bit tired.
I was so glad he didn't say that.
Yeah.
But you know, like I come down the hill, you know, with my trolley and all my stuff, and
Yeah.
then and I've seen people sitting here before, and
Okay.
it's never too confrontational or anything. I'm just like, "Hey man, how you doing?" They're like, "Yeah, good. How are you?" I'm like, "Hey, listen, sorry to bum you out, but I've got to record a podcast in
Just
here
there, yeah.
today. Like, would you mind like if I set up?" And they're like, "Oh no worries,
Yeah.
mate. They're so nice.
Yeah.
They're so nice."
They wipe their ass. They take their shit that they've just dumped on the ground there, and off they go. Yeah.
Well, I have a can of Glen 20 in my backpack
Beautiful.
for when it stinks like piss in here,
Yeah.
and it doesn't now, obviously.
Nah. Well, until I sat down. Yeah. But that's just my natural. That's my natural odor. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the French twang you added in there. You know, yeah, like back to that cancel culture point. I'm intrigued by it at the moment. I think society's coming out of cancel culture phase.
Well,
I have a feeling it does.
I think we're almost being forced out of it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Like we're ultimately just saying please be nice to each other. But I think there is the other side of it where maybe it's forced down your throat a little bit, and also when you do say something wrong, maybe don't lose your job over it. Maybe let's relax a little bit and take a step back, and then maybe it's education, or maybe it's just a tap on the knuckles just to say don't say that again,
you can't
rather than
cancel
just
everyone.
Well, that's just it, because like everyone's just going to be tiptoeing on eggshells. But
Yeah.
I feel like America's got a lot to do with that right now, because he's just come and basically abolished. He's canceling cancel culture,
Yeah,
which is
pretty much.
weird. But
It's a bit of an oxymoron, isn't it?
but I think also problems are getting a bit more real. You know what I mean? Like we didn't.
Or have they always been there? But cancel culture, what is it? Subsides them?
Well, I guess I can't. Like we had, world wars and things like that. Like people weren't worried about whether they were, I remember some guy posting once on Facebook, like, guys, I'm not sure where I am right now. Sometimes I feel like they're them. Sometimes I feel like her, she, or whatever. But, you know, just know that that's where I'm at right now. It's like, it gives a fuck, man.
Unrelatable.
Just be nice. Just
Yeah.
walk around being nice to people.
Yeah.
I couldn't give
Yeah.
a fuck. Why are you telling? Who gives?
Yeah.
But if we were like in the trenches, maybe he wouldn't give a shit about that, or they then wouldn't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
Like, I guess maybe we've had it real good the last few years. We can get to a point where we can complain about some of these things, but things seem to be getting a little bit real at the moment. Or
Yep.
maybe, I don't know. You know, you always hear like, oh, the world's a messed up place. I've been hearing that all my life, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's not that bad sometimes.
It's a
But
beautiful place sometimes.
yeah. At the moment, though, it feels like maybe we're launching towards something that might be a little bit more
We're on shaky
insidious.
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. I get that same sense as well. And here's the thing. I love what you just said. How about we just be nice to each other? You know, like when I start to get a bit overwhelmed by that thought, like going, oh, we're on shaky ground. I don't know if our business is going to survive. The business I work in. People being made redundant, people losing their jobs, companies going bust. Okay, I work in this corporate office. There's a lift, and in the lift, there's like a little screen that flashes up like news articles. So while you're in the lift, you look up at the screen, you see the weather and shit. And there's one article that's like, yeah, apparently 50% of businesses of this medium-sized businesses have gone under in the last 12 months. I'm like, aren't you trying to sell real estate in this building? Aren't you supposed to be pumping up the good news? But it feels everywhere. And then you're like, all right, how can I manage this situation? Like, what power do I have?
Yeah.
Let's just say the world starts ending. Like, there's another war that starts. What power do I have? And it's just, as you said, just be nice to your neighbor. Like, to the person in front of you. Like, do the best you can in that moment. And that helps to alleviate the overwhelm feeling, but also it's like realistic as well. Like, I cannot fucking control what Donald Trump's going to do tomorrow and how that's going to piss everyone off somehow, but I can control how I react to when I stub my toe on a tram on that motherfucker's fucking luggage.
Yeah.
No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in that. And I suppose, I don't know whether anything changed for you when you became a parent, but like for me, becoming a parent changed me in a very simple way of needing to learn how to become more empathetic. That now I'm the one fucking shit up. You know, before I could just be like, oh, mum's a cunt, or like whatever. Like, your family always fucks you up. But then I'm like, oh, it's actually, now that the shoe's on the other foot, now I have more empathy for like the tough gig that it was for her.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
And
I often look back at I think back to my mum being like 25, 26 and dancing around the room to Madonna that was on top of the pops. And I was just a little kid watching her do that. And it's like, she was just a fucking kid.
Yeah.
She was just a
26.
Yeah. Like, and I was like, they had me pretty, I think she was like 22 and she had me maybe 22, 23.
Yeah.
So pretty young. But like, yeah, they were just like, I had my first, we got married when I was 26. We had our first towards the end of when we were 26. And it's like, that's young.
You've got a full-blown 20-year-old now.
I've got an 18-year-old, yeah.
Damn.
18-year-old and a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
So
you've got teenagers.
Yeah. And they're great, but it's you do reflect a lot on your own childhood for sure.
Yeah.
Like I've never hit my kids.
But have you ever danced around to Madonna?
I've never danced around to Madonna, but you know what? I don't mind a bit of Madonna. Yeah. Early stuff, like 80s stuff.
Same. Kylie Minogue for me.
Nah, I never got into Kylie as much. I mean, she was big in the UK, when I was living there, massive through Neighbours and the Locomotion and things like that.
Madonna. What was Madonna? Like a Virgin.
Like a Virgin, yeah. And what's that?
That's a catch.
Papa don't preach.
Papa don't preach.
I'm in trouble here. Papa don't preach. Because she's pregnant.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I've made up my mind.
I'm keeping my baby.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep
My baby.
Yeah.
Welcome to Hosier Lane, everyone. This is the Matt and Lui duet show.
Madonna. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Queen. The Queen? Princess. Was she the Queen of Pop? Princess of Pop. Yeah, I don't know. She's
Well,
pretty cool. It's some of those songs are just Yeah,
They're
Borderline.
timeless.
Yeah, she's got some great stuff.
Which one's Borderline?
Borderline. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah,
I don't know.
okay.
Maybe I'm just making the words up. That's where I sing it. That's anyway.
Yeah, okay.
When no one's looking. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, I love that. Yeah. So why did you come to Australia, man? Like,
Just parents, their
Yeah.
decision. My old man worked in the oil industry, and we lived in Aberdeen in Scotland, where it is just oil industry and fishing, and
Yeah, right.
fishing went out a long time ago, so it's just oil industry for the most part. And I think it was a choice between Australia, Argentina, or somewhere, I think South Africa.
I think Hitler had the same kind of decision to make.
Yeah,
at one
I
point.
know. All very good at football, apart from Australia, which is funny because we came out here playing like soccer, football,
Yeah.
and like I was like the best player in like in the year level by like
Yeah.
just because we played so
You
much
would
more.
say that though, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh no, well, it was frightening. But had we gone to Argentina,
Yeah.
I would have been dog shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They would have been so much better.
Yeah.
So I was kind of the flip side is rugby. Like I played rugby in Scotland. Playing here, they were so much better. Like we
You've
guys
got a
are crazy
rugby
good.
body.
I didn't then, but I do now. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I was a bit different when I was 14. I just haven't always been like this with a beard. Like, yeah, I meant yeah. So
I just can't imagine young. I'm trying to picture younger you, and he looks a lot like current you.
yeah, he looked different. He had a lot more spark in his eyes. And so yeah,
That's good.
yeah. I think yeah. Anyway,
I love it, man. No, it's good. I'm glad you came out. You were so. It wasn't hard to get you on the show.
It was hard, wasn't it?
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. You just
No.
asked, and I said yeah.
Yeah, it was
It's
great.
whatever,
I'm
man.
glad you're here, man. It's
Yeah,
good to
that's
see
cool.
you.
Yeah, are you hanging around the city tonight, or are you going straight home? Are you sick of it? Because I've seen
I
you
haven't
knocking
made up my
around pretty
mind.
late some nights.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't made up my mind yet.
Yeah,
A part of me thinks, because I brought my stuff to offload everything off the SD cards while I'm in the office,
right.
which is like my main task when I get home.
Mm-hmm.
But since I've brought it in, I've kind of signaled to myself when I packed my bag this morning that maybe I'm bringing it in so that I can just spend a couple of hours there and then
Yeah,
spend some time in the city tonight.
yeah. Whereabouts do you live?
Trying to be good. Ascot Vale.
Okay, that's
I
not
don't
too
live that far away.
No.
But it's just like it's a big responsibility, like this production. I have 2 guests on tomorrow as well, another one on at 11, another one on at 2.
Yeah.
So, and late nights, man, they catch up on you at this age.
And how old are your kids?
My kid is turning 17 this year.
Oh shit. Okay,
Yeah. So I'm 40 and she's, 16,
Oh, so
turning 17.
that's why you're here. No, they don't give a shit.
Well, she lives in Queensland.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, she does definitely. She can't give a shit at all.
I tried to
'cause-
tell her about my podcast.
Yeah.
She
She's
showed a
like,
bit of
"Stop."
interest. She
Stop
showed a bit.
now.
Yeah. I'm like, just trying to rekindle my youth. When I studied film and television, just before you were born. Has no.
Where did you study film and television?
At Swinburne.
I did RMIT.
Oh, okay.
What year?
2005 to 2007.
Okay, no, I was
5, 6,
2000 and I think I was 2002.
They had a film course.
Yeah,
It was like the
RMIT.
Swinburne film kids and the RMIT's film kids when we saw each other at the film festivals. It'd be like a standoff.
No, Swinburne was so much better. The
Was
course
it?
I did, I despised, learnt nothing from it, and ended up. The only thing I learnt was a little bit of editing skills to do music editing
Right.
because music was just the sound. You didn't
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
worry about the visuals linking it, so it was that helped a little bit. But
Very similar.
yeah,
I sucked at the video production side of it. I was good with sound and I was great at editing.
right, okay.
But a camera, I was not from that world.
No, this was like I found it to be really shit.
Yeah.
I was so glad I got out of there with a degree somehow. But,
Well, so what degree did you get?
just media,
Film,
media, film, and media. I think it was like a bachelor of
Film and television.
Arts.
Okay. Yeah.
film and radio. I think film, TV, and radio or
Right.
something like that. I can't remember. I've got it at home somewhere in the shed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Same. Mine's in a tub somewhere.
yeah.
Just rolled up.
Did nothing, man. Did absolutely nothing.
Well, I just felt like there was parts of it that I was good at and that I enjoyed,
Mm.
and because I did a short documentary on elderly people that do ballroom dancing,
okay.
and then people loved it, and then I was like, oh, I've got a talent for this,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I was like, oh, I also enjoy it, and so coming back to the podcast, when I started the podcast, 2019, did the first recording 2019. It was about 15 or 12 years after I finished my degree.
Yeah.
It was like, turning on the mixer and plugging the shit in and turning on the mics and, check 1, 2. I was like, this feels like home. This feels like I'm
back into it.
Yeah. And so as I've been, it just feels good to, it's not like I'm doing something with my degree, but it just feels like I didn't give up on that.
It's in the sphere, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I got a diploma in graphic design, but I would always say got a degree as well in the arts. So it would just be arts degree.
Yeah.
And then they'd just be looking at graphic designer, arts degree. Just must have a degree in graphic design. I didn't, but it looked good on, when you're going for a job.
And you've been a graphic designer ever since?
Since 2009.
And still?
Yeah, I love it.
Fuck, that's changing, bro. That world's completely changing.
A little bit frightened, yeah. Because I've had a few people now send me requests for jobs, which is like they've basically done the poster themselves, and they're just like, can you just do this, but with this photo of the actual person that's performing, and can the AI yet can't format things for print and stuff like that. So, but I'm guessing it's not far off. But I mean, you can tell when something's AI, or I can anyway, and I know there is a backlash against it. So I'd imagine for the bigger artists moving forward, they wouldn't be able to use AI stuff.
Wait, there's a backlash against it?
Yeah, people don't like, because you're putting people out of work, So one of the companies I work for is in the film industry, and they had a huge backlash against one of their films because they used AI in the film to generate photographs that are seen on the wall and stuff like that. So normally that would be done by maybe a graphic designer or photographer or whatever. And they found that out, and there was a bad publicity for the film in the sense that, like, not people didn't boycott the film. The film was quite successful, but there was a lot of hate for it for doing that.
How do you feel about it? You said it's scary.
It's a little bit scary. I've embraced it a lot. Like I've used it. I've worked in conjunction with it.
Yeah,
I think that's the best way to do it. Which is we already were. I mean, Photoshop is AI to an extent.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So
exactly. Good point.
Yeah. So
Magic Wand tool. Hello.
Yeah.
The fuck.
So I kind of feel like it's more of just like how can I use this to my benefit, and but I guess look, I'm not completely terrified of it just yet. I feel like I'll just have to pivot and take things, and maybe it is film editing, which I've got into heavily with animations. Look, I'm doing a cool project right now through those animations for a fish and chip shop in London. It's like a whole marketing campaign. So they haven't been released yet, so I can't like show you them or anything. But that's been a lot of fun.
They're under an NDA of some sort.
Yeah, I had to sign off on that the other day.
Yeah,
so
fish and chip shop.
Yeah, it's just a little fish and chip shop, but it's a very well-known one.
Oh, it is?
In London, like just near British Museum. And it's been there since 1958, I think.
Okay.
And like, I think Joan Rivers used to go there when she was in town. Like, they've got...
So it's famous.
Like, it's kind of like a local, famous place. So, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I it's interesting to hear your take on it. And I feel like you've got the right attitude. I try and think like, what other time in history may have there been like as big a revolution, right? In our workflows.
Yeah, like industrial revolution.
Yeah. And I just think back. All right. So when the car came out, there was all these people that had horses.
Yeah.
And there was people that had to clean the horse, drinky troughs, and the people that used to have to clean the poo off the streets or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not the first time we've been through this. And somehow those people learnt to adapt.
Yeah.
I think, and if you've got clients that are already doing their own stuff on AI but sending it to you for some reason, then that's the clue. The clue is that there's another skill set that I need to focus on that they're still missing.
Exactly. It's like I said, that's the part where you got to pivot, I guess, and work something out. And that'll probably make it more fun again, if anything.
Yeah.
But I enjoy my job. I get to work in the film industry. I used to work when I first got my design diploma.
Yeah.
Within 2 weeks I got my first job, and I got my first job because we had my daughter.
Yeah.
Who was like 2, I think, at the time, and we needed money bad because I had a shit job before that, and was trying to do stuff with music. It wasn't going anywhere, so I thought I've got to grow up here and get a job.
Yeah.
And became a graphic designer, and within 2 weeks was working for a company that did porn films.
Right.
So I was basically formatting all the
Here.
in Australia,
Okay.
formatting all
LA
the covers for DVDs.
Okay.
And posters for films and stuff. So that was an interesting job.
That is interesting.
Yeah. I've met porn stars. It's crazy.
Oh, I wasn't ready for that, bro.
Yeah.
I just needed to.
Are you allowed that on your podcast?
Absolutely, man. We tell stories. We tell true stories here.
Yeah.
You know, and
This is the
that's
truth.
life.
This is too much truth.
I don't think there's anything TMI about it. I don't think there's anything TMI. I just think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
That,
It was good because it was so like I was 20.
you didn't realize that was someone's job to do that, though.
No. Well, look, I was 28 and I needed a junior job. Didn't pay that much. This was a mid-level job.
Yeah.
And I was able to get straight into it at a mid-level pay, which is great.
Yeah.
So it worked out really well, pay-wise, and work. The team I was with, the 4 of us, became really good mates, and it was fun. And also,
Awesome.
I got that good at the program, like Photoshop and stuff. I was working on like a big horror film buff, so I was working on posters for horror films for people in America for free because I just wanted to build my folio up rather than have porn stuff. Build it up there.
Of course, yeah. You don't have
So
much
it was
of a folio at the next interview if all you're doing
exactly.
is... Let
Yeah.
me show you these.
Yeah, let me show you how I clean up this jizz off this girl's face. It took me 8 hours to do this. And that was literally one of the jobs that we used to have to do as well, man. So
What's wild is, like, couldn't they just get a photographer to come in and shoot some nice pictures of the people before they started getting into the business and then send those to you? Or
So, yeah,
they had to send you mid-action shots?
No. So those existed. You're completely right. That's true. Those existed. But some of the studios, man, that they dealt with were very low budget. Like very, very low budget.
Is it low-budget porn, or is it just a dude with a kink that just fucking,
Possibly.
Okay.
And sometimes, because it was for Australian, so it went through the Australian classification and everything like that.
Right.
It was rated X. It was illegal here in Victoria.
Illegal?
Illegal, but
As
in
in
Canberra
to produce or watch?
to buy,
Right.
purchase.
Right.
But you could sell them out
In
of Canberra. Yeah,
Right.
it was legal.
And why doesn't anyone ask any questions about that? Excuse me, Canberra, where all the politicians live.
Yeah, completely, man. and it was the government.
By the way, we've got an election coming up. Are you
Yeah,
going to
I
vote for
reckon.
Albo
me
and his porn fucking stash, or are you going to vote for what's the other guy? Dutton and his fireworks.
Yeah, that's where it all is, man.
Yeah.
No wonder it's the capital.
Yeah.
It's where all the fun is.
Yeah, sorry, I went off on a tangent then.
No,
Fucking
politically
Canberra.
got political. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. That's coming up, isn't it? We have to vote.
Yes, we do. I forgot to vote one year, and they sent me a fine for $20, and I was like, that's worth it.
I thought it was going to be hundreds of dollars. If I knew that, I would never have. I would just pay $30.
I'm not
to do it.
condoning not voting because it is compulsory here. I'm just saying, if something comes up and you don't vote, don't be frightened.
No.
Yeah.
$30 I can.
It's not going to be 25 grand coming out of a Beverly Hills hospital,
I worked. I did the counting one night.
Oh, you did?
I did a day of it. Yeah, once. It's pretty decent pay.
For money.
Yeah, I've never done it again since. But
Did you fudge a few? Did you go? Yeah.
well, I'm terrible with numbers. Like I'm almost like I would say.
You didn't tell them that in the interview, though, did you?
No. What is
Have
it
a
when
look at these DVD covers that I've. They're like, here's a good counter.
Like I'd say I'm almost, and this is going to be very Melbourne what I say next, but I'm almost self-diagnosed dyslexic. But is it dysgraphia with numbers?
Dysnumber or numerophobia. I don't know.
Something like that.
I'm
Shit
just
at
making
maths.
that up. Yep.
Let's just say that.
That's the technical
really
term.
fucking shit at maths.
Yeah.
And so you have like you all get like batches, and you're in teams, and you're counting them and double checking them. And one of them, you have to stay until it's all ticked off and matches the numbers. And the one that kept fucking up was the team I was in, because I think I kept fucking it up, and so other people had to come in and recount it. And yeah, I'm sure I fucked it up bad, man. But
Process of elimination.
yeah, did it make a difference to who got in? Fuck no.
Yeah.
So, you know,
It does make you wonder, though. That's pretty good, though.
I hated it. And they keep asking you back because you've done it before. They're always like, hey, you're free to come back. I'm like, fuck no.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. Not doing it ever again. It's
The
a long
bar
day.
is very low.
And the amount of ballot papers where people have just drawn a dick on it,
Yeah.
man, extraordinary.
Really?
Oh, so many of them.
Yes.
Oh, just like like they're all fucking idiots or something like that. And that's it.
So what do you do with those?
Well, they just get like
Discarded.
yeah, because I mean, everyone's been ticked off, so they have the right not to vote.
Yeah.
I guess to an extent you have a right not to.
You've
Cast
shown
an
up,
actual
you've
vote.
had your name ticked off.
Yeah,
Whatever happens beyond the name ticking off is up to you.
exactly. So I guess really, yeah, it's not compulsory to vote. It's just compulsory to turn up to an
Yeah.
extent. But yeah,
There you go.
I just, some of them were really detailed. some of them are not much effort, or just maybe not as good at drawing, I guess. It's in Eltham, so it's quite an artsy area.
Artsy area.
So you get some pretty good ones, man.
Have you seen that Instagram page drawing dicks on the Herald Sun?
Yeah, I'm kind of know the guy who started it.
Oh, that's
But yeah, that's been going for years. And
very good.
yeah,
It's
There's
very.
some,
and-
yeah,
I've seen some detailed ones there.
yeah. They're not as detailed, but like some did have shading.
Yeah.
Which is because that means you have to get the pencil on the.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of feel like even though you're not supposed to look over their shoulders, you could see something like you know when someone's doing shading or ticking.
Yeah.
Two very different.
Yeah.
So you could probably, if you just had someone walking around, you could probably go, that guy's drawing a nice shaded dick.
Yeah. You
on
could
his
pretend
one.
you've got Parkinson's disease,
Yeah,
like from behind. It's
just yeah, a little beautiful drawing of a knob.
I do find some of those phallic images fascinating. I'm like, you've got to like, where have you seen a dick in that much detail for you to be able to draw on your memory and be able to put it on paper that well?
Well, maybe they've got a photo of it on their phone. Or maybe
They've got their phone out in the polling
Yeah.
booth.
as long as it's only the phone they've got out, I think that's all right.
Yeah, drawing dicks on the Herald Sun is a really favourite.
Go to for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, once a year when I need a lull, when I need to pick me up.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm feeling emotional, I'll go there just for a bit of.
Some of them are so creative.
Yeah, they're really good. You know what? I realised that they're not taking the piss out of the AFL photos enough in those. So whenever you see photos of AFL football on the back of the Herald Sun, it's usually two guys. One's grabbing the other one from
Yeah.
behind, like it's a tackle in play, and they're both going.
Yeah, they've got the faces on them, haven't they?
And I'm like, hello. Am I the only one seeing this as an opportunity here? I just don't have the drawing skills.
I mean, yeah, footy's so sacred over here, though, isn't it?
It is.
Like,
No, you can't mess with
you
AFL.
can't
player.
mess with that,
That's
man.
true. Scrap
Like-
that idea.
Yeah,
That'd get you
they'll come
cancelled.
for you, man. Yeah, that will get you cancelled over here. I mean, that is someone does their knee. That's front page news over here.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
So do you consider yourself a bit Aussie in that way, that you follow some Aussie sportsy thingies?
No, I
and
never
stuff
got into
like
it.
that?
Never got into AFL.
Yeah.
The one sport I did get into was cricket.
Yeah, well, it's kind of back home-ish.
It's England who I support.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, but the funny thing, but I've found a lot of Aussies who I meet go for the West Indies. Like there was a real time there when the Australian team really wound everyone up over here.
Yeah.
And a lot of the guys seem to go for, mostly my age, seem to go for the West Indies.
Yeah.
But
like they're the coolest. They were the coolest team in history, right? Imagine these.
Yeah.
Like there's 6'11" black dudes, right, from the Caribbean, so they can fucking dance. Right?
Yeah.
And somehow, like the cricket uniform's all white and everything, but they've got these big V-neck ones
Yeah.
showing half their chest. But not only that, this guy's steaming into bowl at like 40 k's an hour.
Yeah.
And he's got this gold chain that's swinging around left or right. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then he just breaks the stumps.
yeah.
Hello, how could you not get behind that?
No, yeah, I completely get it. And I guess people, the English like the English just because of how shit they were. It was almost just like just going for the underdogs. Yeah. Hence the Barmy Army, really, I guess. Like you're kind of crazy to go for them. But I got into cricket to that AFL. My brothers, they both follow different footy teams, but they quite like it a lot. Yeah. North Melbourne and Melbourne Demons, they're teams of choice.
I'm a tragic North Melbourne fan too.
Okay, that's my littlest brother loves North Melbourne, and that's because like he was growing up here through the Wayne Carey when they were winning, essentially. Same. But he stayed with them since then, and they haven't won shit. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Since then
they made a few prelims in the. Yeah. But no, they haven't done very well. They've gone backwards quite a fair way.
And my other brother, he goes for Melbourne purely because we were in Melbourne. And that's how we thought it worked. Because that's how, we're from Middlesbrough in the UK. We go for Middlesbrough. That's how it works.
Yeah. We're not as territorial here.
No, not at all. Because I got to school and people going for Geelong or Brisbane Lions because they were Fitzroy, but they're not anymore. They've joined up with Brisbane. They're the Brisbane Lions. Same as Sydney Swans or South.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about the AFL. It's not as territorial as like the EPL, is it? Yeah, the EPL. Because it used to be the VFL, Victorian.
Yep.
But then they combined some teams from some other leagues. And then what happened is they realised they had too many teams and some were going broke. So then South Melbourne went up to Sydney.
Yeah.
And like some other team went elsewhere as well. And then two other teams merged or something. Anyway, it's a bit... So it's
was it territorial when it was the VFL?
Yeah.
It must have been territorial at some point.
It was. Yeah, I reckon it was. Yeah.
Like back in even World War II or something. It must have been like if you're from Collingwood, you go for Collingwood. If you're from Richmond, you go for Richmond.
You see some old footage,
right,
of like Collingwood playing Carlton, and like suburb-wise. I don't know if this is the same in the EPL. If some of these teams are that close together, but Collingwood and Carlton are like real close together.
Well, Liverpool and Everton, their grounds are like where we at one ground's here and the other ground's the Fed Square.
Oh right, is it?
Yeah, Celtic and Rangers are both in Glasgow.
Right.
So yeah, you have the big derbies. You've just got lots of derbies here because it's all.
Yeah, it's just a big derby. It's a derby every week.
Yeah. Well, it would have been originally, wouldn't it? The VFL, I guess it would have been. But now it's Tasmania. They have a team as well.
Yeah, they're about to have a team too.
Is that next year or?
No, the year after.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, I was just curious about your sort of how you've made your way into Australiana.
The culture, you're saying?
Yeah.
I tell you what, Vegemite. I like that now. That took 20 years.
Vegemite.
Yeah. 20 years it took, and it was only knowing that you could have it with cheese at first.
Yeah.
That's how I...
Vegemite and cheese, classic.
Yeah, that's how I slowly introduced it, and now I'm quite happy to have just Vegemite
on toast.
Yeah. Love it.
You know what the thing about Vegemite is? It's only on toast. Like, you're not really putting Vegemite anywhere else.
Would it work in a burger situation?
That's a risky burger.
You reckon? Like,
What
let's
meat?
just say a cheeseburger. Beef burger?
Beef?
Just beef, cheese, and then on top of the bun, like on the underside of the bun, a little bit of Vegemite. Is that going to work?
This needs to be explored.
I feel like that could work.
You're making me hungry, and I know you brought something too.
Yeah, it's not meat savoury, sadly. But,
yeah.
But is that going to work? I feel like that would work.
Well, actually, you know what? Baker's Delight do the Vegemite scrolls.
Yeah, they do the veg. It's kind of. I was
They're
thinking
actually pretty good.
If you cut them in half and had a burger in that.
I reckon I should do it tomorrow or tonight. Oh no, I can't. Yeah, tomorrow.
I feel like it could work. Like you couldn't have ketchup with it.
No.
You couldn't have pickles with it.
No.
It's just purely a Vegemite cheese.
Actually,
burger.
pickles would work. Pickles and Vegemite, yeah.
Okay, if you think. Oh no, I haven't thought about that. It was just It was more the cheese and Vegemite, and then because
melted
it's beef, it's got like a fatty, hearty, kind of beefy flavour anyway, Vegemite.
Only beef? Could it be a lamb burger? Lamb and Vegemite.
I think as long as it's been grilled, like as long as there's a bit of char going on in that burger.
We'll talk about this off air, and maybe we'll start a new.
We'll
be the next grilled.
Yeah. Veggie burger. No, veggie burger's already.
No, that sounds lame.
Yeah.
And it sounds a bit.
Burgermite.
Was it you that did the joke about the vegans?
No.
Someone did a joke about
the vegans.
recently.
They're scary people, man.
Someone did a joke about vegans. Just funny. They're all no offense, and this is not intended to offend anyone, but all the comedians are sort of blending into one at the moment.
Yeah,
because of the
a lot of us
on,
do have beards and we're overweight. So a lot of us.
Yeah. That dark comedy night, though, the one that I just was talking about.
Yeah.
What was that room called again?
Roxy's.
Yeah. I've seen some good acts in there, man. There's some really good. And sometimes maybe I'm coming in at the end or something. The room seems really quiet. I'm like, people are missing out on this.
Yeah.
This is gold.
Yeah. I think the next few nights, I believe, are quite fun. I mean, last night's one, even though they were a useless audience, it was like there was still like 6 people there, but I've got a feeling the ones tonight in Roxy's are still going to be pretty full.
Is that why you asked me if I'm hanging around town?
Yeah, I didn't know if you were going or not.
But
it's 9:15, 10:15, man. It's late.
That is late.
I mean, that's how long I'm here till, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you coming.
No, that's all right. Yeah, I'm going to have a proper dinner tonight before a gig. I haven't done that normally just on the run, you know. So, yeah, it's crazy, man.
And how many more shows you got to do?
Well, just every week. Like I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 tonight. I've got 2 tomorrow, and then I'll have a few days off till Thursday, and then I'll start again. And it's like 3, 4, 5 a night. Like that's how it kind of goes.
That's massive.
It is. I'm getting a bit tired, man.
Are you making any money off them, or? Like?
Yeah, my wife wouldn't let me out if they weren't.
Yeah, okay.
If they weren't paid, and that's fair enough. Like and look, I wouldn't come out. It's not enjoyable.
Yeah.
I don't get much enjoyment. Apart from a couple of them, it's not that enjoyable.
What do you do for fun these days then?
Not do comedy, man. It's do you know, like it is obviously if you're
so
up on stage and everyone's,
stage,
but if everyone's like that, that's the enjoyable moment. But you got to think like you got the build up to it, which is stressful. And then as soon as you've done that gig, you got to go to another one anyway.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of admin associated with it, texting here, making sure I'm on that booking. I've got to try and make sure I get between that show and that show in time.
Yeah, I'm running late because this show's gone over, and it's, you know, I almost there's the flip side of it where you have your own solo show, which is great because you're just looking after your own show. But then there's also the stress that brings of like, do I have enough in tonight? You know.
Have you done many solo shows?
I've never done a solo.
Not interested? Never been interested, or?
Never felt like I've got to the point where I'd be comfortable enough doing an hour. I hate, like I said, I'm pretty shy. I hate talking. I get tired talking. I can't imagine doing that an hour every night for 5 nights in a row or more.
Here I am inviting you onto a podcast.
It's a bit different. It's conversation, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just that's fine. I've talked on the phone before.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
You've been on podcasts before? What was that thing that you did with the long-haired animation?
Animation.
The long-head animation thing.
Oh, yeah. What was
that?
That was the guy with a long head.
Yeah.
That was just part of the world that I'd created. He was just on it. He was on, the character I made was on a podcast to someone.
Can you tell me about this world that you created? I'm kind of curious about it.
Yeah.
This feels like some other. Like, how did you even put all that together?
So it was last year.
What is that animation style called, and what is it like?
Well, it's kind of like claymation style, but it's not. What I did was last year in the lead up to festival, I didn't have a show.
Yeah.
And you kind of get tired of seeing everyone posting how brilliant their show was, and you know for a fact they bombed for an hour. Yeah. Oh, you know for a fact there was no one there, but they just, they put this brave voice on and basically just tell lies through through social media. So I thought, what if I created this character who just destroys every night when he does comedy, and just keep posting that through festival while everyone's struggling. I'll just be like, this guy just... So like everyone posts these things like the festival's doing like a 20% off discount for the next 24 hours. So I posted this thing of like, within this guy's world, his show's going so good, he's charging 20% more. And it's just him going like that. Like, that's how fucking good he is. So it started from that, and then I started doing little animation. So what it was I did it in tandem with AI. So I generated these some of these characters in AI, but it can only... I mean, it looks like it can do more now. I haven't tried it with ChatGPT or anything.
I just saw I got an email from Runway 4th generation yesterday.
Right. Well,
it's freaky.
Yeah. So I had to do a lot of like generate them, but then Photoshop them to get them the way I wanted to look.
Right.
And then I'd Photoshop all the different expressions that they have.
Bro, that's such a skill.
And then from that, created the animations old school. So it's like frame by frame, like a claymation.
What are you
thing.
using for that?
It's all the Adobe suite, Adobe Premiere Pro and things like that.
Okay.
So that was it. So it has that kind of shutter, stop, start effect of claymation, and
I loved watching it.
So again, it's like I said, work with AI rather than. So I'm not just using it. I'm using it to work with, and
That's what it's for.
Yeah, and then I just create. It's almost like, you can remember the Mighty Boosh. Oh, I don't know if you ever saw it.
I do remember that. Noel Fielding.
Yeah.
Noel Fielding was ahead of his time genius.
Yeah, he's funny, man. They're funny guys.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like just a crazy. It's called Middleham Village. It's a comedy scene. And that,
yes, very bushy.
Yeah.
Very bushy. Yeah. Now I get the vibe.
Yeah.
Because it had a bit of dark. It was dark as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's just silly, man. It's just,
I love it, bro.
Yeah. Look. Do you know what? It doesn't. It's probably not made for reels and things like that, because they're like 10 minutes long.
Yep.
So it doesn't hold people's attention, but it's people, like, as an actual friends who've watched, like they've had like hundreds of views rather than thousands. I feel like the hundreds of views it's had, I actually know the 100 people a few hundred people who watched it, and everyone I've met have been like, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And I've now got work from it, like which is good, because it's actually like
sick.
A really good paying job.
Yeah.
Project. I've been able to work on it from that. So it's been successful. It's kind of paid for itself, the time I spent on it now, and
that's awesome.
It's been a lot of fun, and I'll do. I had fun doing it. Magic Matt and his diverse all-star comedy friends.
Yeah.
So all the people in it are like. There's Brave Bev, who's got ADHD. Yes. There's an Asian guy in a wheelchair William. Which is, there's a guy called William Wang who does stand-up comedy.
He's been on the podcast.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy. But
William's a legend.
When it came up, he's like, "Is that supposed to be me?" I'm like, "This is not, man." Like, because it's like this overweight, like real old Asian guy in a wheelchair. I was like, no, it's just it's WW. Like, it's with that Magic Matt, Brave Bev, BB. It's just as simple as that, man. It's just
Wheelchair William.
Yeah, Wheelchair William.
Yeah, that's very good, man. I'm really impressed by that, honestly.
Thanks, man.
Like, it's amazing that it was just an idea you had. They are very funny. I think if you kept doing them, the hundreds would turn into thousands, and if you wanted that. But also the fact that you were able to win work from it, bang.
Yeah, well, that's the main thing. I mean, I guess that's why everyone's doing you do reels and things like that and try and get millions of views, and then like I don't know how it works, but I guess that translates to I've been told like 1 million followers translates to like 20 sold tickets. Yeah. So sure, I mean, like it's a lot of hard work, or maybe the goal is to get paid from YouTube or monetization or whatever. But this was like a legit contract for work through it, which is probably better in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, ultimately, we're all trying to figure out how to commercialize the thing that we love doing. So I love doing this.
Something that makes you happy.
Yeah. And I loved doing this from the first episode.
Yeah.
And I still love it now. And they're both very different experiences.
Yeah.
But, just being able to do this with someone's a hell of a lot of fun. But I get to record this and walk away with it and then post it on the internet. And if I ever want to listen to this again because I think you're a legend or I had a good time, I can. as opposed to when I used to be at Rebs till 5 a.m. having chats with some absolute legends that I met for 3 or 4 hours, and just walking away going, damn, I wish I'd recorded that.
Yeah.
And just not being able to hold on to that experience. But then you sort of, all right, cool, now I'm doing the podcast, cool. Then the next stage is like, well, how do you commercialize the thing? Like, how do you turn it into something? And with podcasts, it's sponsorship, or it's like a Patreon.
Yeah.
I have neither. So my audience is big enough yet. But I still feel like, well, you got to lean into the thing that lights you up a bit first.
Yeah, cool.
When you're willing to do it for free because you like it, then you know that you'll be able to push through when times are tough or challenging.
I think that's the thing. We all want our hobbies to be something that we get paid for, essentially, whether it's stamp collecting or, model trains. Yeah, we would all, live happy lives if we could get paid to do any of that.
And I think it's all possible. And that's what you hear, like the universe people talk about. It's all possible. Just imagine it, and you'll find it. But then I think, stamp collecting, that's a bit of a stretch. But then I'm like, oh, that guy that started Antiques Roadshow, I bet he started as a stamp collector.
Yeah.
And then look, bang, this show's international, Antiques Roadshow.
Oh, yeah.
It's huge.
People love that. I'm more of a bargain hunt fan.
But there's a guy on Insta at the moment. He does barn finds in the UK.
Barn finds.
The barn find culture?
No.
I learnt about it when I played this game back in 2020. It was called Forza. It was a car game.
Right.
Driving car.
Okay.
And they had this, it's kind of open world, but then you'd go and drive around to races and stuff. And there was these side quests that you'd do in this game. And one of them was for barn finds. You'd have to drive through the countryside, and it was based in the UK actually, this version of Forza. And so you'd drive through the countryside and sometimes go off road, and then you'd see a barn, and you'd be like, oh, there's a barn over there, and you'd go in there, and there'd be like a 1957, Fiat something.
Yeah.
This guy in real life does that.
Wow.
And he went to Italy recently.
Oh shit, here we go.
And they found the original, I can't remember the name of the original Lamborghini, but the original Lamborghini they pulled out of a fucking dusty barn somewhere in Italy.
How does it end up there?
Someone bought one. They were rich. Their life fell apart. Their family, everyone left them. They became an alcoholic. Their fucking life fell apart.
Put a car in the bar. You know the old story when you have everything and then you lose everything and put your ar in the barn. We've all been there.
Exactly. We've all been there. Yeah.
One day they'll find a Toyota Corolla hybrid that belonged to me in the barn.
I'll share this guy's channel with you because it's so fascinating. And he's British, and so most of what he does is in the UK. But it's fun. They're finding these Ford Escorts and stuff in these and some of these guys are just really rich. And the property's been in their family for a long time. They're from wealthy families. And they walk into this barn. There's 50 cars in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I found this one. And he's like, do you know what that is? Like a limited edition rare car with a rare engine, and it won some rally championship. It's like
it's like when you hear people go in the attic and they find a suitcase full of all these Beatles recordings.
I thought you were going to say fucking porn DVDs.
But amongst
are you talking about your attic now?
No, mine's just got
your
Jews
folio.
in it. But
Sorry.
you've got the some old recording from the Beatles that no one's heard.
Yeah.
So that stuff's
That's sick, isn't it?
Yeah.
That show, what's that show called? Porn Hunters. Porn.
Oh yeah. The pawn shop one where they come to them with the someone said
hardcore porn. It's called hardcore porn.
Right. Someone said that's shot in the studio. Apparently, it's not in an actual shop.
Okay. That's weird because you see them go out into the car park sometimes. They're like, I can't believe we let that guy go. Maybe we should. And then they go in the car park. They're like, all right, we'll give you 10K.
Here's a funny thing. You know that job I was telling you about where I was working in porn?
Yeah. Different kind of porn.
Very different.
I'll need to use subtitles to clarify the two.
we had offices upstairs and the warehouse was below, but they moved the warehouse because it was in South Melbourne. They moved it to like somewhere out in Footscray because it was cheaper. So the people who took over the warehouse while we were still above them was the Block, the TV show The Block. That's where they shot it, in there. So they were like pulling up into our car park every morning. The guy who's like the presenter in that. He's like, "What's going on in there?" And we're like, "Come in and have a look, man." And it's like, "Oh shit!" They're all like downstairs from this full on. Yeah. Crazy.
That is crazy. Yes. Hi. Don't forget to tag a brother. I'm just kidding. Come on. Get in here. Go on. Hey, entra. Muy bueno. Hey, we get the flyer in there.
Yeah, can't have that.
Sink. Gracias.
See ya. Yeah, he'll do nothing with that card.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
So what?
Doesn't matter.
Mm.
It's out there.
That's right.
You know that.
Yeah. I put some effort in.
Yeah.
All I'm asking is you just fucking press follow on something. It's not that hard.
Yeah. And give me money and come to my show. Give me money and don't come to my show. Do the thing that people do when they vote. Get your name ticked off.
This girl over here is
Fuck.
having a full-on photo shoot. She's pulled her pants up and down about 50 times, adjusting. So much adjustments, isn't there, for fashion shoots?
This laneway is the place where people come to do that.
Yeah.
I saw this boyfriend before. I think they were there for about half an hour. And he did not look happy. And she was making the most minuscule adjustments to her stance.
Oh, God.
And like, so just pretend I'm her.
Oh, God.
Yeah. That.
I flew back from Perth not last night, the night before, and the girl sat in front of me. She's like this blonde, like I'd say mid-20s maybe. She spent, so it was 3 hours and 30 minutes flight back.
Yep.
And she spent the entire, and I'm not like, every time I looked up, this is what she was doing. She was on her phone going through selfies of herself, some with her friends, just hundreds of them of the same shot. Deleting, keep, delete.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, and then I'd like try and fall asleep or just close my eyes and then wake up another 20 minutes later, look up. That's all. Like no one needs entertainment on flights anymore because we can just look at ourselves, the photos we've taken in bathroom mirrors or so. It's nuts.
Well, you definitely, I think it's definitely exposed the narcissists in the world, right?
I don't think they give a fuck though, man.
Yeah, but that's why they're narcissists.
Yeah, but I don't think the word expose is right because exposed is like when you find something out about someone. Like you expose a politician or, Rolf Harris or Jimmy Savile. They were exposed. These guys don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
they're not being exposed. They're just
Yeah,
swallowing it up. I don't know what the word is.
It brought them out, made them more visible, more evidently.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's
shameless.
Well, because you just need to open up someone's phone and you go into their photos section, and if there's 100 of the same pose, you got yourself one. You bagged yourself a narcissist.
It's it's
chicks love that shit these days.
Oh man, I don't get it.
She was hot though.
Well,
I do like that anime look.
Oh no, she just moved down. I've never been a big fan of it.
Yeah, it's the latest kink for me.
The
anime thing.
Yeah,
blue
yeah.
hair.
Blue hair. She had beautiful blue hair.
Can we bust out the?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Because
this is from the Europa Bakery in Eltham.
Someone accused me of inviting my guests the other day to bring food to feed me.
Right.
And that's not what it is. But today that actually is the case because I have not eaten.
It's smallish, sorry. But do you like cinnamon?
Brilliant. I fucking love cinnamon. What is this? So Europa Bakery?
Yeah.
In Eltham?
In Eltham, yeah.
You want to give them a shout out?
Oh yeah, Europa Bakery in Eltham. They'll do nothing for me, but if you can, chuck us a free one. They're fucking expensive, man.
Are they?
Yeah.
This looks damn good. Oh yeah.
Quite nice, isn't it?
Are those like sugar crystals on top?
This is their cinnamon heart.
This is so damn good, and I don't know whether it's because I'm really hungry or because it is damn good.
I think it's nice with a coffee. It would be cold by now with coffee.
Oh, I love a coffee.
What's your go-to coffee?
Look, I've just been getting almond cappuccino. I
It
like.
had to be almond, didn't it?
Yeah,
Are you
like-
lactose intolerant or something? No.
Yeah, I
Okay.
try and cut back on dairy because I love cheese,
Mm.
and so I try not to smash too much dairy because I'll have like 2 coffees a day as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm having 2 fucking cups of milk and all the cheese that I eat, because I dead set love cheese.
What's the deal with almond milk? What's it like? How have you? How's the transition been from full fat milk to?
I can't go back to full fat milk. It has a pungent odor.
Full fat milk does.
Yep.
But what about what's the almond milk like? Is it nice?
Yeah, it's very creamy.
Okay.
It's a bit woody, but it's not like you would imagine that like a milk, like a nutty milk like that would just be kind of watery, but it's far from it. And my ex got me onto it. Like my daughter's mum got me onto it when I met her. She's Cairo, so she was bringing some health things into my awareness, and noticed that I had some health challenges or here or there. Maybe it's because I was working in nightclubs and trying to study, but she'd be like, oh, maybe you should switch to like fucking almond milk or rice milk,
Mm-hmm.
And so I did, and I just never went back. I was like, fuck, yeah. But then sometimes I'll accidentally, or someone will order me a cappuccino, but not the almond bit. And I'll just put it to as soon as I smell it, I'm like, that's come out of a fucking cow's, what do you call it?
Hoo-ha. That's the,
Cows. That's the technical term for it. And it smells like hoo-ha milk. That is some hoo-ha milk right there.
Yeah, I
You
don't know
haven't
why I
tried it?
use Al Pacino in what's the scent of a woman? Is it? No, what's it called?
Scent of a woman.
It is, yeah.
I've never seen it. Oh,
Yeah, it's all right. It's very 90s.
Al Pacino, Scarface.
Do you know what? Not a massive Scarface fan.
Yeah, but you got to admit that scene at the end when he's got a mountain of cocaine and 2, like AK-47s. Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah.
He's a badass.
It
That's a
is.
badass
But
scene.
I love Brian De Palma films. Like
Who's that?
love the Untouchables. Dressed to Kill. I'm trying to think of other ones now, but yeah, I do like Brian De Palma.
Yeah.
But
Brian De Palma.
Scarface,
I should look him up.
he directed Scarface.
He's not ringing a bell to me at the moment, like
You've seen
visually.
the Untouchables, haven't you?
It's vague in my memory.
Kevin Costner, Sean Connery, Robert De
Yeah.
Niro.
Yeah.
It's a great film.
Is
man.
Al Pacino in that?
No,
Uh,
it's Godfather. Obviously, I love Godfather.
Godfather.
Godfather 2.
I watched those maybe 6-7 years ago for the first time. And yeah, I was like, yeah. Godfather 2? I felt like the original is the best.
No, I like them. We watched them recently with my kids, so they watched them. My son thought that the original was the best. But
Good taste.
Godfather 2, I love them. Godfather 3, always a big disappointment. But I rewatched it recently. I don't mind it. It's nowhere near the other ones, but I think you've got to separate them. And I kind of feel like it finished the story off somewhat interestingly.
Yep.
So I just got some of those sugar cubes on me.
Yeah.
Gone down.
It's a lot of pressure for a filmmaker to back amazing films. But then I look
yeah.
at Star Wars and The Lord of the Rings and I'm like, no, they just get better.
Those ones are great. I don't like the prequels, Star Wars. I still don't like them. But
I
those
can
original
tolerate them.
3. Those are, see, my son likes them. He still thinks the original 3 are great. But
Oh yeah.
yeah,
But like the Hayden Christensen ones.
yeah, not a fan. I can't get through them. But I showed my son recently Terminator 1 and 2.
Oh,
never
so your
seen them.
son's 15?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
never got around to watching them, so we watched them the other day. And he,
But you had never seen them, or
no, I have. He had never.
Yep.
But they're pretty.
One's a bit old school. The
love it.
animation in that is
Yeah.
like a little bit far-fetched now.
It was a little bit. He found it a little bit humorous at one point, but it's like
Yeah.
God, when we watched them on VHS, like it was great.
Yeah, because we were coming out of black and white TV.
Yeah, give us a break.
Yeah.
You know, it was the Fonzie, and then it was this, and
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
But
Fonzarelli.
yeah, but it's kind of quite relevant at the moment with AI and things
Skynet.
like that.
Oh, Skynet.
Yeah, like it's
Absolutely.
it was
Drones.
kind of like
We're drones.
What are we doing? We should stop. Is no one seen these films? We should stop right now.
Yeah, that is coming up a lot in some of the social media comment sections.
Mm.
It's like, oh, hello. So Joe Rogan had this guy on the other day, and I haven't watched this episode. Joe Rogan had this guy on the other day, and I saw a clip on his Instagram from it, and this guy was explaining how they just genetically engineered a direwolf.
Yeah, I saw. You see, now things like that. I saw that.
The comments section was like, oh, what was that movie?
Yeah,
What was that movie again? Oh, Jurassic Park.
yeah.
Oh, so Jurassic Park is real.
Yeah. But I saw someone said that they haven't done that. That hasn't happened. I can't trust anything. The thing I'm really interested right now, which the TikTok and Reels and everything have been spitting out because of the algorithm, is breastfeeding. No, is the pyramids.
I love the pyramid. Yes.
The stuff they found. They reckon they've found the structures under the pyramids.
Can you share some of that shit with me? Because I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
Oh man, so am I. But I don't know if it's true or not. That's it. Like,
it doesn't matter anymore.
yeah, it's
what
true.
is
as well.
true?
It's just fun.
Because
is it fun? Yeah,
we've all been living lies anyway. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Like we've all been living lies that we think are truths. Here's an interesting example of it that I can know. It's a conspiracy theory. But
Is this almond milk?
No.
Okay, go on.
I'm not going to shatter my own world in this one. But like the Hitler thing.
Yeah.
Everyone says like he got killed in World War II, but then there's like all these conspiracy theorists that say no, he moved to Argentina.
Yeah.
And let's just say, but the whole world moves on under the guise that he was killed in World War II.
Yeah.
But then what happens to your world if there's some evidence and it comes out that he actually did move to Argentina?
Yeah.
Like, what happens to your world then? Is everything you've ever believed, comes into question? And I think that's where we are now. Some of the conspiracies are actually true, right? Some of them. And a lot of them are still not. But then, like, when you find out that, like, Santa Claus isn't real, when you're a kid and you first find out that Santa Claus isn't real, but fucking mum and dad have been lying to you the whole time, that's kind of where we're at the moment in history.
Well, yeah. Look, we watch a lot of classic films for our kids, and one of them we watched recently was In the Name of the Father. Can you remember that film?
No.
It had Daniel Day-Lewis and
Never
Pete
watched it.
All right, it's a great film, and it's about true story about the Birmingham. Is it the Birmingham Five or I can't remember 7 maybe.
The Jackson 5?
Basically, it was an IRA bombing, and it got blamed on these people who were just over from Ireland.
Right.
Had nothing to do with it. They got thrown in prison. Case closed. They did it. I think he was in prison for like nearly 20 years. The dad who came over to like help support him, he got thrown in prison. You're involved in it. I got thrown in prison. He died in prison. It was just this great injustice which the government covered up. So it exists.
Yeah.
The government cover up. So they're not. Things are covered up. Conspiracy theories are there because shit, like whether it's we did land on the moon or not, that's beside the point. But keeping the bastards real or honest, I guess, is the whole point of those conspiracy theories. And you know, we are right to question everything because it does feel like something we're just being sold a lot of the time, and you know, it's a bit scary and sad. Like even the stuff with Martin Bryant. That stuff I see pop up all the time. Where
Wait a sec. What is that stuff?
They're just like, there is no way he could have, with all the accounts that they have, there's just no way it was him, is what they basically say. Like people are talking about this guy walking, me too, walking around shooting from the hip. There's no way he'd hit that many people, nor even someone who's as trained as Jared Goundry would be able to hit someone from the hip much as he like. It's just impossible. And then people were giving descriptions of the person shooting, and it didn't match. It wasn't. It was someone else. Like
this is a Santa Claus moment for me. I haven't heard any of this.
Yeah, it's out there. It's a bit like it could all be bullshit, man. I mean, the guy's, I don't know, but then
Yeah, but
you read into
he had
it. You can read
that was
into
a
anything.
military-style weapon that he was carrying.
Yeah,
And so you would have to have been trained to shoot that thing, because like I shot an air rifle last year. The thing has a kickback. That little thing has a kickback.
Yeah.
This guy's shooting. He was like shooting like an M4 or some hardcore military style weapon. That thing doesn't just have a kickback. You need to be trained, and you need to be trained to hold that thing.
Yeah, man. Look. I'm not saying I go along with it for 1 minute, but I guess what I am saying is
there's parts of it that make sense.
Yeah, we're not given the truth on everything that happens.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
When how did we start this thread? Oh, all the shit we see on social media. Some of it's true, some of it's not. Nothing's changed. We're just no more conscious of it now. We're probably in a place in history where you've never had more people questioning more things, which is good. And that's what I love about the art form of comedy. For me, the art form of comedy is a safe space to question societal, norms.
I would say norms, yeah.
Norms or customs. You know what I mean? And fads and phases and, things that people are brainwashed about even. You see a really good comedian go up there and just blow people's minds on something sometimes, and you're just like, oh, whoa, yeah, that real simple thing that we've all been just sort of taking for granted. This person stopped and asked a question about it, turned it into a joke.
That's have you seen Steve Hughes? Yeah, he's probably the best Australian comic going. You should
Steve Hughes.
Steve Hughes, yeah, he was more.
Glad you didn't say Dave Hughes, because I would have disagreed.
No, he was more based in the UK.
Sorry, Hughesy.
Steve, and I guess he was almost cancelled to a point because he did get stuck into the transgender kind of topic, I guess. But like, man, some of his stuff, like I've been to his shows at the Lounge, and it is divisive. But I've seen people go
Lounge.
I've seen people go up to him after and say like, "Hey, I didn't agree with everything you said, but my God, it was the way you said it was hilarious, and I really appreciate hearing your view." Like that. That's what you want.
That's what
we
art
don't
is
have to
supposed
agree
do.
with everything, but that's how you can still listen. But then you have other people who are just like, "Nah, he said this word, I'm out." Doors shut, and that idiot.
Yeah.
So
I thought he said the N word, but it was just Nigeria.
Yeah. Well, he does. He has got something about the N word, which is pretty funny because I'll check him out, man. You should check. You really like it.
Yeah.
Steve Hughes. Yeah, you'll kick yourself. I think he's going to be in town soon. I think definitely will be at some point.
I'll go on sus.
You'll love him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's right up your street from where I'm picking up on him. You'll love him.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, I need to see some more good big comedians, because I've been seeing lots of good little sort of local acts in small rooms.
Yeah.
And I just haven't been to the biggest room I've been to was Jim Jeffries at the Palais.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to go and see another one of those shows.
Okay.
Just do another big one.
Well, Steve and Jim Jeffries are like really good mates.
Are they?
Yeah, they went to the UK together, and
did they?
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
So
Jim is before I even got into comedy, I idolized him.
Right. Okay. Well, I'd say Steve Hughes is far better.
Really?
I think you'll love him. Yeah, because he went to the UK and he was about to be huge, but he was in the car crash and things happened, and he just fate hasn't been kind. But man, I think you'll love him. I think when he's on fire, he's probably the best this country's produced in.
Wow.
God, I don't know. We met since like maybe Paul Hogan was the biggest thing, or Clive
Hogan.
Anderson or something like that. I don't know, but like
Hogs.
Steve Hughes is brilliant.
Yeah, nice.
Mm.
Yeah, well, I'll be glad to take your recommendations.
I've given you a scroll, and I've given you a comedian to check out. That will change your life. That's pretty cool, man.
You have.
Yeah.
You've been really good.
I came late, but still.
Good. Nah, it's fine.
You had someone else here sit in my place. I noticed he had a Man United shirt on. I wasn't going to say anything.
He did. Yeah. It was funny because Tom Stanimiros is moving to Manchester.
Right, okay.
and then this guy with the Manchester thing, and then you with the kind of accent from that sort of
From
part
the
of world.
north, yeah.
Yeah. Is Manchester the north?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So which part of?
It's
where were you-
northwest. I'm northeast.
What's that?
Middlesbrough,
Middlesbrough,
Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Yeah, Sunderland. That's all in the same area.
Alan Shearer. Alan
Yeah,
Shearer.
that's right. He's Newcastle. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was great.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
of my
cool.
favorites. This is a really this over here behind you is really popular for photos.
The Love Hearts.
Is that what it is? Ah, right.
Or is it the wolf that you're talking about, or the fox over there?
No, it's the Love Hearts where that. You see where the two girls in the doorway are? That doorway there. That's been like that. That's been going off. So many photos taken in front of that
We
doorway.
should get a photo there after. So the guy that did the Love Hearts is one of my guests.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I just episode that I released this week is with him. It's his name's Peter Somadelis.
Right.
He's going through a gnarly phase in his life where he's reconnecting to his youth and
Okay.
the spray painting that he did in his youth, and he's all about love and music. And he comes in here and paints those love hearts and music notes.
How do they get away with that?
What do you mean?
Are they allowed to do that down this street? Is that why it's
yeah,
covered in
this is
for
yeah.
spray
This
paint?
street is known as a place where sprayers can come and spray.
But do you have to
Graffiti writers.
have
and-
good skill levels, or obviously not?
Absolutely not.
Like you can come in and just do a big
Yep.
dick, could you?
Yep, you could do a giant phallic object on the wall here, but I think the thing is that because this laneway is known as that place, there's people that don't have any skill that bring cans down. I've
Yeah.
seen little kids that are touching a can for the first time, spraying on the wall.
Oh wow,
I've had people spraying right there while I'm doing the podcast and be like,
jeez.
and so yeah, like this laneway is a it's a democratic. What would you call it? Like it's a little it's a place where everyone can come. It's a community.
It's anarchy. Look at this street. It's anarchy.
Yeah, it is. But you know the cool
crazy.
thing about it, because I can tell you probably haven't watched much of the podcast before, but like, you know, because we only just met. But the backdrop's different pretty much every time I record.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I haven't noticed that. I've seen like clips of you and
Couple of little
Joel
clips. Joel
Templey.
Templey. Yeah.
And who else was it?
So look behind you, and that your background's completely different to what Joel's was.
Right.
So I guess that's the fun part about doing the podcast here.
Set
is I
keeps changing.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's
this,
cool.
people waving at us and stuff.
Yeah.
Unlike the
That's very
people
clever of
watching
you. What would you always thought to do it in this spot?
No, look, I tell this story. Look, it's a boring story. I just didn't have anywhere to record.
Okay.
I was meeting Sean Collier somewhere. I was like, fuck, where do we meet? I don't have a studio,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to record indoors.
Yeah.
My
yeah.
first episode, I recorded it with a guy out at his place, and we recorded it on the back porch.
Okay.
And that's out in Belgrave. So all you hear is these like lyrebirds in
Yeah,
the
yeah, the
background.
birds, yeah.
Beautiful sounds, right?
Mm.
But I was like, oh yeah, this is what I want. What I actually wanted when I started the podcast was to be able to interview anyone, anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Okay.
And so for me, it was like a play. And I didn't have the kit for it then. I had my Mac there. And I was recording into my Mac. It's not very portable. It's a very
No.
expensive computer. You
no,
don't
it's
want.
just into this thing.
Yeah. So the kit's been designed for me to be out and about
Yeah.
and just have no barriers and no excuses.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
cool, man.
All right. So if a guest says, hey, yeah, look, I'll do it, but I'm based out here,
Mm.
just pick this up and take it to them.
Brilliant.
But like Joe Rogan's a little bit different. For example, he doesn't like doing Zoom interviews. He won't do that anymore.
Right.
They have to come to his studio, which is good because I think it's way better when you do it in person.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's the thing. He'll only get people if they're in town in Austin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my whole thing is like I want to be able to.
You could probably afford to fly them out, though, I'd imagine.
Probably could.
Yeah.
You know, most of his guests can afford to fly themselves out.
True.
But I want to be able to just like pick this up and go. So, you know, once I had the kit, I was like, well, there's no point doing this indoors. I bought a kit for outdoors.
Yeah.
Let's fucking do this thing. And then I chose Hosier Lane. I think Sean and I first set up on this footpath just down there.
Right. Okay.
And then I did an episode maybe a couple months later with Caleb Highland.
Yep.
And I did two with Sean actually. on the footpath. I did it with Caleb Highland, and it was raining.
Right.
Yeah, it was raining.
So
I
you
was
jumped down under here.
yeah. So I went in here, and also I had this other problem. I was going to try recording from my phone for the first time
Yeah.
because I got this app on my phone that records front and back camera.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, sick app. $3 on the App Store.
Wow.
No subscription. Fuck you, subscription models. And I just loved it. And the problem is, see that? That's on an angle.
Yeah.
So the phone, it just wasn't going to work. So I came here where it's flush
Yeah.
and set it up. And I thought, oh, I'm on 80% battery. Surely this thing will die. You know, recording front and back camera at full HD for an hour and 20 minutes. Thing didn't die.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I guess here it is. And then a couple of months later, I bought the 360 camera. So it's all kind of happened.
Yeah. It's
You know,
the
I brought the
studio's.
sign.
Yeah. That's a great sign.
I got some hooks up there that are camouflaged in underneath the spray paint that I just hang them on. Yeah.
It's an ever-evolving studio.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cool, man.
I know. Look,
And that light's working really well now as well at this
It
time
is.
of day too.
I think I need to invest in some other lights, to be honest, like just to add a bit of
Like a ring thing, one of those ring lights or something.
just a little bit more light on us.
Yeah.
Because I think we're getting dark, and I'm recording at 24 frames per second, so hopefully it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's interesting. It's temperamental. Like if it was dark and rainy right now, I'm not sure it would work.
I kind of like that though. I like it being wintry.
Yeah. Well, I
know.
recorded an episode with Ashley Fees and me,
Yeah.
and he asked me to re-record because he wasn't happy with what he said on that app.
What did he do as material?
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking.
He said some shit.
Love Ash.
Yeah, I love Ash too. Good dude, really good dude. But he was like, dude, I'm not sure I'm happy with some of the stuff that I said,
Right.
because it could get me in trouble. And he, you know,
Yeah,
I'll
put it
say-
out, man.
I'll say no more. No, I
Let's get him
deleted it.
cancelled, man.
I
Let's get him
deleted it.
cancelled. Ah, okay.
I can't be that guy. You know what I mean? I need advocacy from my guests, not to alienate them and piss them off. But you know what I mean. But
But you could have like blackmailed him with it for a bit, man. Do you know what I mean?
blackmailing for what, bro?
Just for fun.
See?
Just to watch Ash.
Sick.
Just
You're
to-
a sick man.
Just to watch Ash squirm.
This is why you're emceeing the dark comedy room. I love it. I love it.
Just to make him squirm. No way, man.
But
I'll
yeah,
do anything you want.
I deleted it. And anyway, it was beautiful. But the re-record was done on a hot day. That first recording was done on a amazing day. We had heaps of light.
Yeah.
But it was raining.
Right.
And I remember watching that footage back, and you just see all of these incredible, colourful umbrellas walking through the frame.
Oh, wow.
Like the entire recording is
Yeah,
just
yeah.
people stopping and just colourful umbrellas walking through the scene. And I'm like, this is just special. I love this.
Mm.
And so, yeah, I don't know how long this phase of
I like
the
it. I mean,
podcast.
you
is
could go
gonna
to
last.
Hong Kong and do it. You could go to Delhi,
Yeah.
sit up in the little street or alleyway and just film it, man. Like that's
Exactly. That one, and that's
That's
what I
the
want
dream,
to do.
yeah.
That is the
Yeah.
dream. And the thing is that like this year, I started asking my guests to bring food,
yeah.
and that's honestly been the best thing I could have done, because the stories that people have, even if it's just plugging your local bakery,
Yeah.
right? But there's always a story.
If I'd had time, I could have made something. But
You didn't have to.
the
But you did tell me that night that you and I met. You were like, "Oh, I'm a great cook."
yeah,
So I was kind of expecting
Yeah.
something that you fucking make.
Sorry,
but you
man.
didn't fucking have that.
I did, yeah, I would, but I haven't. Yeah,
I'm
I didn't.
joking.
I was thinking like it would have been weird bringing a butter chicken.
You-
Just to-
All right. So episode 62, Christy Russell,
yeah,
executive coach, leadership coach. Sweeney Young's aunt. She brings an entire Basque cheesecake that she baked herself the day
Ooh.
before. She brought the whole cake.
what happened to it all?
At one point, I'd eaten a big slice. She'd eaten a slice. At one point, she's offering it up to people, and I just went, "Whoa! You got to
No,
stop offering that
yeah.
up." You know, I want
This is
that.
my
It's my
podcast.
favorite cake in
Yeah.
the world. Exactly, it's
Yeah.
my favorite cake in the world, and it was damn good. You know what she did? She grabs like a third of the cake size slice and just plonks it on my plate, and I fucking smashed it. I
Yeah.
smashed it all.
I bet it was beautiful.
It was sensational.
Yeah,
And the only thing that was left to take home was one sort of thin, modest slice. And I took it home and smashed it too.
Beautiful. Yeah, that sounds really nice, man. Yeah, sorry. It is a nice bakery. The Europa Bakery.
Oh, this was beautiful, man.
Yeah. They do some, it's like all sourdough. Like, yeah, it is really nice.
Tom brought me chocolate, like a little tub of chocolate yogurt.
Okay, so yeah, I've done better.
You've done better than Tom.
Yeah.
Joel Templey brought the funniest food snack. He brought hot cross buns that he thought were fresh because he bought them apparently that morning. I don't believe he bought them that morning, maybe the day before. But these things were like a week old.
Right, okay.
You know when you break bread and it's white on the inside?
Yeah.
And like it crumbles? Yeah, I put this thing in my mouth and I spat it out. The funny thing is that there was two dudes standing right there, just on the corner right there, just watching this whole thing, and they just lost it laughing. And I lost it laughing. Joel was so embarrassed, but I was like, nah, this is awesome.
I bet Joel ate them, all of them.
No, even he spat them out, bro.
Oh, shit.
I know. And that's saying something.
Yeah. He's been to Russia.
Dude.
They queue for bread over there, man.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I really like Joel. I think he's great. I like
he's
his
super
comedy.
guy. Yeah.
And, this is fun.
I have a lot of time for Joel.
Yeah, but, man, you've been awesome. I just, thanks for coming.
No, thanks for having me, man.
It's been really good. Can you show us the flyers, by the way? You brought a bunch of those.
No, I would have them with me just to give out. Remember the garbage? You don't remember them.
I do remember, but they weren't big here.
Yeah, maybe not. It's still not big
Yeah.
here, but it's just
What does that say?
piss myself, Matthew, because I always had like weird names and that. But it's
I do remember that now.
yeah.
Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yeah, it was a piss
them?
take off. So there was Cabbage Patch Kids, and these were like the piss take of them in trading cards. And I did it. Yeah, I designed it for before the fest, and thought, well, when I do shows, like people come up to you and they ask, how do I follow you and blah blah blah, and watch it. It's easier than standing there with them while they, because it's Matt O'Neill Thunderbastard. It's a bit hard to type in. And
It's heaps.
so it's
a lot.
you can scan stuff. It's got links to the animation we were talking about, and
I've got one at home.
Yeah.
Sitting on my desk.
everyone. Yeah. So it's I don't know.
I like it.
Does it work? I haven't checked the analytics.
Well, look, post one up on the wall there.
Oh yeah.
Just like lick the back of it,
just spit on it.
and just stick it up on the wall.
Yeah. I'll leave it over there somewhere. I could do
People
that.
think of it as art, and it is art. Like you made that,
I did.
you created it, and
I really did. That's not bad. Yeah, it gets a lot of foot traffic.
It
traffic
does,
through,
man.
yeah.
It does. And you just put a little thing, best comedian in town, just write that, and people like randos.
I think they'll just know.
Sorry.
I think they'll just see it and know me. I won't need to write that.
But like what I'm saying is like all these tourists, they're looking for something to do. They don't know the difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can just write anything.
The problem is that there's a spelling mistake on it, which kills me because
So you're not only dyslexic with numbers.
No,
But
I'm terrible with. No, I know, man. Matt and his diversity comedy all stuff. Like,
Give me a look at that. Where? Like,
yeah, it's hard to spot, but when you see it,
and here's
yeah,
Diaries.
yeah,
Diaries. Yeah.
it's karma.
No.
It's karma, man. Yeah,
Oh, he's got a bit of Buddhist streak in him
yeah.
too. That's what I like about the dark comedians. They have a bit of a Buddhist streak. They believe in karma. It's good. It's
Yeah, 'cause
necessary.
that means it's coming for us, man.
Yeah.
Don't know when, don't know where. Probably in the shape of a shit audience, but it'll be coming for us.
There are so many correlations. Like there are so many similarities between real Buddhist thinking and comedy.
Is there
That
really?
you should be able to laugh at anything.
Is that what they say in Buddhism?
Buddhism, in a way, is about not being too attached.
He's a fat bastard, isn't he?
Absolutely.
There you go.
And you see the pictures of him?
I've seen statues.
Yeah. What is the statues?
He's smiling. Yeah, he's laughing.
That's
yeah,
a big
yeah.
ass grin.
Yeah, you're right. He's a jolly fat man.
He's probably doing a set.
Probably, yeah. Probably just come up with a bit about the pyramids. About Martin Bryant. It's like,
What was that? 30 years ago now. Yeah, 29 years ago.
Was it 96?
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to give my gun up.
Yeah.
No, I
right.
didn't have one. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I still got mine.
There you go. Shh. Your air rifle. Sweet, man.
Oh, well, hey, it's been really good to have you. I
Thanks,
appreciate you coming down, and I love this, honestly.
Yeah, no, this is very, like I said, this is the most Melbourne thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, we should come back and do it again sometime.
For sure, man. Probably not next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, whenever, man.
Yeah, let's keep that. But yeah, Matt O'Neill, it's been a pleasure having you.
Thanks, pal. Thank you for having me.
Good luck with the rest of the festival. Good luck with wherever you're taking there, whatever's going on next for you, man.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Just keep doing you. Keep being you. I think it's all just...
We'll
You're
see,
a dad too. You're a
Yeah.
dad. All right.
See you, man.
Bang.
That's awesome. Thanks, brother. Thanks for having us, dude.
That's really good.